Right, go and look at your bank account. Empty is it? Again, payday's miles off, and the idea of doing the same job for another 40 years makes you want to lie down. I get it. And then you go online and everyone's banging on about financial freedom like it's a real thing. But it always sounds like it's meant for trust fund kids or some bloke who got lucky on crypto in 2017. None of that's aimed at you, especially not when you're skint. But here's the thing, and it's not just for them. There's a 6-step plan and it takes you from nothing in the bank to actually being sorted. No get rich quick schemes, no lottery tickets. A process, the same boring steps every time, and they work. So if you feel stuck right now, this is the way out. Let's go. Before any of that money stuff, we need to sort your head out, because the biggest thing stopping most people isn't their salary, it's that they've quietly decided they can't do it. You need to be a genius or earn 6 figures or get lucky. No, none of that's true. Financial freedom isn't about being cleverer than the next bloke, it's about having a better system and then not quitting. Discipline over genius, showing up over a big starting salary. Doesn't matter if you're 20 and just starting, or 35 and convinced you've left it too late. You haven't. The only thing you actually need is to decide you're starting. That's it, so let's start. First up, you need money coming in. That job you can't stand, reframe it. It's not the trap, it's the launch pad for now. It's the steady cash that pays for everything else we're about to do, so don't knock it. Once it's coming in, you need to know where it's going. And no, this isn't some miserable budget where you can't buy a coffee without crying. It's actually the opposite. You being in control instead of wondering where it all went. You'll see the 50-30-20 thing online, half on needs, 30% on wants, 20 into savings, which is a decent starting point, but let's be honest, with UK rent and bills the way they are, half on needs is a bit of a laugh for a lot of people. Treat it as a target, not gospel. The real move is simple, give every pound a job before it sneaks off and does something stupid. Now, you wouldn't enter a race with an anchor strapped to your leg, so why try building wealth while you're dragging high interest debt behind you? Credit cards, payday loans, all the buy now, pay later stuff, anchors, the lot of them. They've got to go, and here's the bit nobody tells you about a 22% credit card. Don't think of it as debt, it's a guaranteed loss every single month chewing through your money while you sleep. You can't out-invest that. No fund on earth reliably beats 22%, so stop trying and just kill it. Here's how. Write out every debt, highest interest rate at the top, that's the avalanche method. Every spare quid goes at the one up top, minimums on the rest. Top one dies, you take all that money and point it at the next one down. It's like a final boss rush basically. Biggest threat first and you work your way down the list from there. And each one you clear hits harder than the last because the payments stack. Every debt you kill is a chain off your leg. Right, expensive debt's gone. Now we build the buffer, your emergency fund. This is the money that actually lets you sleep, the thing standing between you and a fresh credit card the day your car flunks its MOT or the boiler dies. And trust me, the boiler always dies, usually in January. Start small, £1,000, £1,000, whatever it is. It's a buffer, not a fix everything. A new boiler costs more than that, sure, but £1,000 stops a small disaster turning into a proper one. Save it, stick it somewhere separate and easy to get at, and then leave it completely alone unless something's genuinely on fire. Then the bigger goal, 3 to 6 months of your basic living costs sat there waiting. Yeah, that takes a while, no point pretending otherwise, but that cushion is the whole thing. It's the gap between one bad month wrecking you and one bad month being, well, just a bad month. The emergency fund isn't your investing money, it's your stop lying awake money. Okay, steady income, no nasty debt, safety nets in. This is where we actually press the accelerator and invest. This is the bit where your money stops just sitting there and starts pulling its weight. And it's nowhere near as scary as the films make it look. There's no shouting on a trading floor. For basically all of us, the simplest thing that works is a low-cost index fund. Don't try to pick the one winning company out of hundreds, just buy a little slice of all of them at once and let the whole market do the work. In the UK, you might go for something tracking the FTSE 100, the 100 biggest companies on the London Exchange, or a global one, or an S&P 500 fund, which is just the 500 biggest US companies. People will tell you that S&P's grown faster over the last decade or so, and the FTSE pays better dividends. True for long stretches that, but it's not a law of physics, and past performance doesn't promise you a thing about the future. Pick a broad, cheap fund, stick with it, that's the whole skill. Do it inside a stocks and shares ISA, which is just a tax wrapper and a fancy way of saying you don't pay UK tax on what your investments make. There's an allowance, 20 grand for the current tax year, but the government fiddles with this stuff constantly, so check gov.uk for the real number before you do anything. Oh, and worth knowing, from April 2027, they're cutting how much you can stuff in a cash ISA if you're under 65, but the stocks and shares one is untouched and still the full amount. So the thing I'm actually telling you to use is the bit they're leaving alone for the most part. Platforms like Vanguard, Trading 212 or Freetrade make it dead easy. Some let you start with a single £1. Their fees and rules shift though, so have a look at the current terms first. And the actual secret, same in amount every month regardless. Whether the market's up or down, you just keep buying. It's called dollar cost averaging, and all it really does is take the drama out of it so you don't panic and do something daft. Everything so far puts you on a good path. Step 5 is what makes it the fast path, because here's the catch with saving. There is a flaw. You can only cancel Netflix once, but earning, there's no real ceiling. It goes a lot higher than you'd think. Two ways at it. One, the boring but brilliant one, get paid more for the job you already do. Go in with an actual list of what you've delivered, what you're worth, and ask for the rise. 10% on 30 grand is 3 grand a year. That's 250 quid a month straight into investing for one slightly awkward conversation. 2, the side hustle. And to be fair, in 2026, there's no shortage freelancing a skill you've already got. Tutoring, delivery, making stuff online. Pick something you're half decent at, give it a few hours a week. Even an extra 200 a month is 2,400 a year you can put to work. Just don't think it's all tax free. There's a thing called the trading allowance. First grand you make on the side each year, that's yours. No tax or forms, nothing. Past a grand though, you've got to tell the tax man, declare it the lot. So the second this looks like real money, keep your record straight from day one. And honestly, that's a good problem to have. Do that and the side thing can quietly turn into the main thing. Last step, the end game. This is where you flip from working for money to your money working for you. That's all financial freedom actually is. Your investments and whatever you've built covering your life, so you're not trading hours for a wage anymore. No guarantees obviously, life lobs, spanners, but do the steps and the odds sit firmly with you. For some people that's growing the side hustle into a real business, one that doesn't fall apart the second you take a day off. You'll also hear people, mostly Americans, going on about house hacking, buy a place with 2 units, live in one, rent out the other, which is lovely in theory, but doing it here is a bit of a nightmare honestly. UK mortgage rules, the extra stamp duty, all the regulations, it's a whole different game and it usually wants a serious pile of cash up front, which is not a beginner move, so park it unless you're really into properties. Now this last step is a switch in your head, going from worker to owner, building or buying things that pay you month after month whether you've dragged yourself out of bed that day or not. So that's it, 6 steps, the whole route from skint to free. 1 is a steady income, which is your foundation. 2 is to kill the high interest debt dragging you down. 3 is to build the emergency fund so life can't ambush you. 4 is to invest every month so your money earns. 5 is to push your income up, that's the real accelerator. And 6, scale into owning stuff that pays you. That's the plan, which is genuinely hard and no promise it'll land the same for everyone, but doable for anyone willing to actually stick at it. It'll take time and discipline, but stuck forever isn't your only option and none of this is set in stone. So tell me, what's the first thing you're doing the second this video ends? Stick it in the comments, I read them all. And if this was any use, smash that like button, hit subscribe and click on one of the videos on screen now for similar content from me. Thanks for watching.